You're on?
Oh. Oh, you did it again. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday morning.
And it's the Ben and Giggle morning.
Yeah, we're having a good time. We are extremely busy, and when that happens, sometimes we just need a laugh getaway. And I was just laughing so hard I was crying. But anyway, Vicki didn't get that part on film, fortunately.
I did, but you didn't have the sound on.
Okay, so let's get into today's question because I got some really interesting stuff to go over. And anyway, let's get into it. So, first things first is this doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while I need to adjust my this is the DeWalt router base housing, you know, that goes with the little 611. And in case you guys have this and this ever happens to you, that you tighten this up, this is the little cam that tightens up the base or the housing on the actual router itself. But what happens is every once in a while I put this thing on the router housing, and let's see here, see if I can do this. We didn't really practice this part. And when you flip this thing, it doesn't tighten up. Right now it will, but let me show you something. There is a little set screw right there. Boy, this is not the way we auditioned or rehearsed, is it? There's a little screw right there, guys, and it's just a little.
It's on the table.
It's a little hex head. Is that better?
Well, tip it, but.
It's a little hex head. Now, if you look at this area right here, this is threaded in here. If you look at that area, as I turn this, see how that's pulling that away? It's actually pushing the screw, the set screw, against the housing, and it's pushing it away. The farther out that you go there, the tighter it will get. But if you go the other way, and this thing vibrates in like that, then what happens is this thing, oh man, no, it's not gonna. This thing may not tighten up on there. Of course, now it is. But it could be that it won't tighten up on that thing. So if that thing starts to back its way out because of vibration, it may not tighten up on there. And so what you have to do is you have to actually, you can do it with that all the way open. You can turn that and it pushes against that housing. And then that will engage this and make this much, much tighter. Sometimes that will back off so far that this thing will just turn, the router will turn inside of the housing. So if you have an issue with your router that this thing is not tightening up on your router motor, then that's what it is. It's this little set screw. And other routers have similar kinds of stuff, similar kinds of tightening issues, or systems is what I want to say there. But let me show you the inside. And what's happening inside is this little pad, this little thing here, as you push this in, that thing is pushing in to the inside diameter of this housing and pushing against the router, and that's what tightens it up. So in case you guys didn't know how that mechanism works, that's something that I have to do every once in a while. I'll put my router in there and it won't tighten up when I flip this closed, and it's because that set screw needs to be adjusted. So anyway, just in case. And so the second question, and that actually wasn't a question, it was just something that I thought you guys might want to know in case you didn't know how that worked. So the question that I have is from Glenn, and Glenn says, let me see if I can explain this correctly. When you are carving a pattern that you've glued down to a board, how do you deal with a router base edge that's around the bit getting caught on the ribbons of the paper that are lifted by the bit cutting through the paper? And any of you that have carved that, you know what he's talking about. Seems like I'm always getting caught on little bits and pieces of paper, and it causes the router to wander from the patterned edge. Okay, from Glenn Fournier. So let me tell you what I do. Here's a sign that I'm going to carve soon. This is a piece of vinyl that I printed out. This is the logo that I'm going to carve, and I'm going to put it on this piece of live edge walnut, which I don't use the walnut very often, but this is for a really good friend of mine, and this is for his former boss. So I'm going to stick this on here, and as you guys know, I'll put masking tape down first, and this is adhesive. I'll stick this on there where it goes, then I'll put packing tape over the top. Then when I go to carve it, these little pieces and stuff, they could peel up and get caught on the inside of the router base. Now what I do, and many of you, this might be speaking to the choir here, but what I do is, if you look real close at that edge, it's not a real sharp edge. I just take and I kind of just put a little hand chamfer on that thing with a piece of sandpaper. Now you don't want your sandpaper to come across your base plate bottom, because you want to try and keep that free from any scratches, because it'll just cause it not to slide well. Then you have to use more silicone spray or something like that. So anytime I want that edge kind of softened up a little bit, I'll just take a little piece of paper, kind of hold it at a 45. This is a piece of, I think this is 320 or 220 or 320, I don't know. And I'll just kind of put a chamfer on that. And then I do the same thing on the outside edge as well. It doesn't happen near as much out here. But the other thing is when I'm carving these, I absolutely expect that I'm going to have stuff peel up and kind of interfere with the router base plate sliding. So you want to be prepared for that. So always have a light touch. When I'm going to be carving this, I'm going to have a light touch. I'm not going to hold it up, but I'm going to have a light touch and be aware and ready for that thing to get caught somewhere. If you always expect that to happen, then chances are when it does happen, if it does happen, you're ready for it and you won't wipe out a letter. So I always kind of expect the worst to happen, run into a nut or get the base getting caught. I've had it where I had a little piece of masking tape and the base got caught on there, and it come close to, being an error on the board. But if you're always expecting something like that to happen, you'll be ready for it when it does. So that is about it, and I may go ahead and film the carving of this. I don't know if that's what we're going to do Friday, but we might. It all depends on what happens in the next day or so. All right, sign carvers of the day. This is from John from Lake Superior. His very first sign, made with pine and cedar strips. And I've done some stuff kind of like that. Really looks nice. So he laminated some cedar and some pine together to give a real nice striped look. Great job. Great job, John. And Jacine Palmer. He did a really neat sign here. I'm not sure whether you can tell, but this is actually a combination of scroll sawing and carving. So that's actually around the lion inside the circle there is actually cut all the way through. So he did some scroll saw along with some carving. Great job. Great job, buddy. Okay. Jacine, and said he sold it for $150. What size? 15-inch diameter. Sold it for 150 bucks. Good job, Jacine. That looks nice. It really is cool. Two really neat ideas there, guys. And I've done versions kind of like this with names and stuff that went across an open deal, but I'm not much with a scroll saw. I did it all with a router. I may do that on camera one of these days because it looks pretty cool. All right, guys, that is it. So a couple orders of business. Okay, so when you guys order stuff, you guys know that, and probably 98% of you guys, when you go to the website, you order with your credit card, or you can use a PayPal invoice or a PayPal account. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can just order with any Visa or MasterCard. When you do that, that's the way we prefer it. However, we know that there are people out there that still write checks. If you want to write us a check, we would prefer that you don't, but if you do, just understand that we have to wait for that check to clear the bank, and sometimes it'll take a week, maybe 2 weeks, because we're so far out of town that we don't go to town every day, maybe every 2 or 3 days, so there may be some delay in that. And then when the check clears, then we can ship your order. So, just understand, if you write us a check, then there may be a delay. And in that, on that subject as well, if you make out a check, please do not make it out to Dave's Signs. Don't make it out to Make a Wood Sign. Make it out to me. And my name is down below, Eric Roten. It just makes it so much easier that way. Huh?
Same with money.
Yes, and if it's a choice between a check or a postal money order, we would prefer a postal money order. But anything that you make out in that category, please make it out to me, Eric Roten. Please. What was it? Was it something else, baby? Okay. That is it. Okay, so the trip is on. We're leaving the evening of the 21st. So we'll be doing business Monday and Tuesday of next week. We'll be shipping stuff out, right? Yeah. So, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we won't be shipping anything. We'll be in Minnesota, freezing probably. And then the meetup is at Mall of America on the 22nd. In the middle of the day. So if you guys happen to be around and want to meet up with us at the Mall of America, somewhere in there, send Vicki an email with your cell phone number so we can connect. But I think it's going to be around the middle of the day, something like that. We got like a 4-hour layover. So anyway, we're excited about our trip. Excited about the great things happening. So if you guys have any questions, anything we can help with, be sure and let us know. Thumbs up if this was helpful at all, and please subscribe if you haven't. Spread the word. We can always use more subscribers. So thanks, guys. Hope you're having a great week, and we will see you for the newsletter on Friday. Have a great one. Bye-bye.